Hey there, Heather Ho there, Jeff Cardone. Welcome you to another Stone Cold Hockey video. We're doing the 1964-65 season, trying to see if the Leafs can four-peat. As of right now, the Red Wings and the Habs have got our number. We're in third place. Chicago's fourth for 30 points. The Rangers are only 3 points back. They started off 0-8-8. They had a 16-game winless streak. Since then, there have been only 7-6-5 above 500, and the Bruins are just not doing it. Bobby Orr is a few years away. The goal scoring lead, Ron Ellis had the lead for a while. Now Camille the Yule Henry has 19 for the Rangers, with Raj Gilbert 16. Assist wise, Gordie Howe leads with Nora Ullman second, Bobby Russo third, Mahavlich is fifth with 20. Points wise, Ullman leads Gordie Howe and Stan Mikita. Our top point scorer is Ron Ellis, who is ninth in the league. Penalty minutes, Stan Mikita, number one, 108. John Ferguson second, Carl Brewer third. Best goalie by goals against, Roger Crillier, 197. He's played all games? Yeah, he's the only goalie to play all the games. Come on, get Wetzel some games. Schedule standings wise, everyone's played 31. The Rangers have played 34 games, which is like amazing, but they'll lose out at the end. Everyone's played at least 31. Points percentage, we're at 54%. 91 goals, third most, 76 goals against, second least. We're 8-3-4 at home and 7-9 on the road. Anyway, how did we do? Well, so that's just our stats and all that. We've actually have a 5-game winless streak. We've lost 3 and tied 2. So practically we're in deep trouble in a sense. Stats wise, Ron Ellis leads Frank Mahovlich by points. Dave Buchanan 22. So I check 8-1 as a goalie. Bauer 7-4-3. Highlights: our best game was 8-2 against the Rangers, and our worst game was against the Rangers 4-0. We're the only team to have the same thing: best win and the worst defeat. Same team. Only for hat tricks: Provo, Gilbert, Ellis, and Ron Murphy. Memorable games: the Toronto Rangers game from October 18th when we were down 5-1 and came back for 5 straight goals. That's number one. Chicago 7-4 win over Montreal in November when Chicago was terrible. And Detroit Rangers 4-4 from October 21st. We get to the schedule. Today's December the 30th, so we play Montreal on home turf. And in this video, we will have Terry Sawchuk going net against Gump Worsley. The Leafs, we have the Big M, Frank Mahovlich, Ronnie Ellis, number 6 in your programs, Dave Keon, number 14 in your programs, Bob Pulford, future GM star for the Blackhawks, Red Kelly, 8 Stanley Cups, the most by anyone not playing for the Habs ever. Eddie Bathgate, great New York Ranger, traded to the Leafs in the 63-64 season. Ron Stewart, also there too. Georgie Armstrong, the chief, the captain. Tim Horton, great defenseman with the Bear Hug and Timber's Donuts. Jim Pappin, who would be better known as a Blackhawk icon 6 years later. Don McKenney, who was also sent to the Leafs in that trade with Bathgate. Kent Douglas, who would do better with the Golden Seals. Penny Stamkowski, the Polish rifle. Eddie the Agitator Shack. Carl Brewer, the ageless one. Alan Stanley. Dickie Moore, we picked up from former Hab, Dickie Moore. Brett Selby, left winger, who will be a future Calder winner. Billy Harris, who would be better known for being the Islanders stuff in 1972. And Bobby Bond, a defender. Montreal has Claude Provo, Rob Backstrom, the guy who Montreal traded to Los Angeles to make sure Oakland was the worst team in the NHL so that they could get that number 1 pick in 1971 to take Mr. Guy Lafleur. Pocket Rocket Richard, Claude LaRose, Gentleman Sean Belleville, Davey Ballon, John Ferguson, the policeman, Bobby Russo, the decent player, Dick Duff, former Leaf and Canadian, Gilles Tremblay, Jean-Guy Talbot, good defender, Yvon Cournoyer, the Roadrunner, Jacques Leperrier, good defenseman, good head coach, J.C. Tremblay, better known for his days in the WHA with Kubik, J.B. Roberts, not the tennis guy, Leon Rocheford, Teddy Harris, Red Berenson, who would be better with the Blues 3 years later, Terry Harper, Noel Picard, also a blue icon, Keith McCurry, Gary Peters, Brian Watson, and Andre Boudrias. Here we go. 5 minutes into the game, a fire delivers a hit, but no problems. 3 minutes later, battle. Agitator trying to deliver a hit. It is now the whole thing with retaliation and Ted Harris for 2. Okay, chance for Bathgate. No chance for Pulford. No. 2 minutes later, action for the Leafs. They're in red dice. George Armstrong couldn't do it. 3 minutes later, Wallace gets the 2-minute penalty for bear hugging. Montreal champs. Ooh. And it's a power play. Pocket Rocket goes to the box for 2 minutes, which is unusual. Open ice, no action. Leaves on the power play. Ron Stewart. Ay. And nothing doing after 1 period of play. The Leafs and the Habs are battling for second place. 4 minutes later, battle, aggression. Montreal delivers 2 hits, and bye-bye JC Tremblay. Is it JC or Gilles Tremblay who got the penalty? Yeah, it's JC who's gone. That's bad news. Montreal not only has to take a 5-minute power penalty, which at least will have a 5-minute power play, but they've lost one of their good defensemen, too. Power play goal. Davey Keon can have a nice goal. Makes it 1-0 Leafs. Next up, power play, no. Second killed. Really? Only 1 goal in the 5-minute power play. George Armstrong. Oof. 3 minutes later. Action. Skiers. He's a policeman. He's well known. He's better off than his idiot son. His 9th goal for Ferguson from Belleville and Laperriere. We're tied. And now we end after 2 periods. So, of course, I say John Ferguson Jr., worst GM in Leafs history? I don't think so. The fourth hit, delivers a hit, but no penalty. 6 minutes later. Action for Kelly? No. Much later. Action for the Leafs. Ellis? No. After 2 minutes. Now the Leafs must score here. This is the best time. Remembering he's a goal scorer from Kelly and Brewer, and the Leafs win the game 2-1 on a last-minute goal. Craig Mihaljevic at 1946 of the 3rd period from Kelly and Brewer. They did it. Keon scored, Ferguson scored, but Ferguson in the box for tripping. That will be your biggest problem around. Ferguson takes the dumb penalty. Worsley loses to Sawchuk. But it could have been different. I think Montreal probably would have had it. But yeah, the Leafs, Kachi. New Year's Eve, Chicago goes to Detroit and crushes Detroit 5-1. I don't know when the last time Detroit had a loss. Crozier losing to Hall. Glenn Hall, the former Red Wing farmhand who got traded to Chicago. Only Detroit goal by Will McDonald. Bill Hay, Phil Esposito. Yes, he was a Blackhawk at that time. Bobby Hall, Doug Moens, and Doug Robinson scoring for the Blackhawks. I have to know. Tell me, baby girl. The Rangers, the last loss they had, they only lost 3 times. The last loss was November 14th in Montreal. So they had an 18-game unbeaten streak. They actually tied 6 straight games. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, they had 6 straight ties. That is freaking weird. Well, nevertheless, to go back. So New Year's Day, Toronto heads to Boston. Meanwhile, the Rangers crushed Chicago, who crushed Detroit. Rangers win. Paille beats Glenn Hall. As the Blackhawks goes by Bobby Hall. And him again, 18. Sean Martello, Bob Nevin, Vic Hatfield, Camille Veal, Henry. Now is the leading goal scorer. First guy to 20. Bob Nevin with a goal. And then Bill Hick. So we go to Boston, who are just pathetic. Eddie Johnston in the net against Sawchuk. We're 4 games above 500. Boston has only 4 wins in their own accord. They have more ties than wins. Anyway, Boston, you have Johnny the Chief Busick, Murray Oliver, Reg Fleming, the first NHLer to die from CTE, Dean Prentice, Tommy Williams, a rarity an American in the league, Ed Westfall, who would do better for the Islanders in a sense, Ab McDonald, Ted Green, known for getting in that stick swing brawl with Wayne Mackey in the preseason in 1969, suffering a skull fracture and missing pretty much that entire season. Bill Nibbs, Wayne Maxner, Orland Kurtenbach, the first captain of the Vancouver Canucks, Wayne Rivers, Forbes Kennedy, who would get himself in a Leaf uniform 4 years later and then push an official in those playoffs. Ronnie Schock, who would do better with the Blues 3 years later, winning a playoff series on a double overtime goal. Leo Bovan, Bob Leiter, Bob Luetich, Don Aury, Tom Johnson, Bob McCord, Murray Belfour, former Blackhawk icon. Gary Dornhofer, future Hockey Night in Canada star. Sean Gilbert and Joe Watson, future Flyer. Early on, Leafs score. I want that bath water. It's Eddie Bathgate. Hits 8 from Stewart and Stamkowski. Lots of 8s. 8th goal and an assist from the two guys. 3 minutes later, battle regression. Penalty on Bond. Boston's defense will actually lose a step or two. But yeah, Bond in the box for 2. Reggie Fleming? No. Top, right now. Reggie Fleming forces turn by. One more time. Orland Kurtibach. Leafs come back, Bathgate. Oh, not this time. 5 minutes later, battle, aggression. Hit by McKinney and up 2 minute. Wait, 2 minutes. Mahovlich, score! Beautiful shorty from Bathgate to Armstrong to Mahovlich. And the Big M scores. It's 2-1. Prentice, he misses. Frank Mahovlich has a chance. Oh, Big M almost scored his second goal on that same power play. Short-handed. Boston a chance for Tommy Williams. No, sir. Forbes Kennedy. No. And the Leafs take a 2-1 lead into the second period. Bathgate and Mahovlich for goals. Fleming for Booston. Who knew? Later on, Trump delivers a hit and retaliatory action by Bovine. That's 2. Leafs chance. Kent Douglas? No. Couldn't do it. Aggression? That's a 2. Bruins chance. Prentice? No. Top power play. He got it back. Prentice. Prentice makes contact with 7 from Wojciech and Teddy Green. We are tidy. 3 minutes later. Bob McCord. I don't remember talking about Bob McCord. Do you? I guess. Anyway, no. And the Bruins have a 3-2 lead on goals by Prentice and Fleming. Oh boy, we fucking lose this game. 2 minutes later. Bruins, Maxner. Oh. 5 minutes later. Here's the chance to score. He pulled that one. Bob Pulford has 11 from Armstrong and Keon. All 11s. 11th goal for Pulford. 11 assists from both Armstrong and Keon. 5 minutes later. Action Pulford. No, he had a chance. Action chance by Murray Oliver. No. And that will do it. Remember, in the 60s, there was no regular season overtime, so the Leafs get a point. They pull the point out of the hole, and Boston, for the 11th time, will have a tie. Reggie Fleming with 2 goals of all people. Bathgate, Mahovlich, and Pulford with the goals for the Leafies. A New Year's Day massacre. Boston, I believe, do they have the most ties? They have 11 ties, but Detroit has 12 and Rangers have 13. Okay. Just enough. Saturday night, no rest for the weary. The Leafs have to play the Wingings. And the Habs crushed Boston 5-1. Johnston back in net against Charlie Hodge. Forbes Kennedy scored by Montreal, Cornway, Jungi, Talbot, LaRose, J.C. Trombe, and Pocket Rocket with the goals 5-1. Leafs host Detroit, and it will be Sawchuk versus Crozier. So Sawchuk will stay in the net as long as he needs to. You know that? The Red Wings and all that. What's our clock say? 14 minutes. Okay, we might play a few games. Anyway, Norm Ullman, Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe, Alex Delvecchio, part of the production line, Bruce McGregor, Ron Murphy, who was doing well in goal scoring for a while, Ted Lindsay, terrible Ted Lindsay coming back to Detroit, reuniting with Howe and Delvecchio, Parker McDonald, Eddie Joyle, Paul Henderson, the 1972 Canada Cup hero, Petey Martin, who played better off as Blackhawk, Doug Barkley, Gary Bergman, Larry Jeffrey. No, that's not how you spell my legal first name. Val Fontaine, the guy who was clean and took 5 years to take a penalty. Lo McDonald, Marcel Pronovo, Albert Langlois. I think Pronovo was with the Leafs in the 60s, and then he went to Detroit. Al Langlois, the guy who screwed up and gave the puck to Bobby Bond for his overtime winner in Game 6 of the 64 Cup Final. Pete Gilligan, Bill Gadsby, the Icon, John McMillan, Andre Porterfield, Warren Garfield, and Bob Dylanbo. 3 minutes later, a battle by Dickie Moore. Dickie Moore's in the game. Cool. But Papa Power play goal. Mr. Hockey, his 10th from Normie Ullman, 1-0. 4 minutes later, battle in action. Brewer and McKenney, so he's got 20 goals. 4 minutes later, chance for Ted Lindsay. Oh. Battle and aggression. It's hit by Goldberg, and he'll go to the box for 2. And there's a chance. Or pop power play goal. Normie Ullman, his 15th from Pronifo. It's 2-1. 2 minutes later, Leafs chance. Parker McDonald. No. Last moment. And no shot from Powell, but they don't need it as the Red Wings have a 2-1 lead on the Leafs. Goals by Howe and Ullman. Ronnie Ellis for Toronto, his 20th. Later on, that's number 2 for Ronnie Ellis. It's 2-2. 2 minutes later, battle and aggression. A little too aggressive, a hit by Bob Bond, and he's in the box. Punched. Chance for Gordy. No. Saved by Sawchuk. 2 minutes later, a chance by Floyd Smith. No. 3 minutes later, a battle agitator. Big hit, and then Ron Stewart puts it in. 2-2 from McKenney and Keon. So the Leafs are in the lead near the end of the period. Red Kelly, no. And the Leafs have a 3-2 lead after 2. Allison Stewart. The Red Wings have not lost back-to-back games yet. Did I just jinx my own team? Ouch, got plunked. He was looking for the Haddle trick. 4 minutes later. It's time for Tim's. Tim Horton, his 4th of the year, 4-2. Oh, it's time for Tim Hortons. 2 minutes later, battle, aggression. Ty Lindsay for 2. David Keon tried, and the segment is killed. 5 minutes later, action chance for Bergman. No. We're getting close to the end. Leaves. Keon. No, he couldn't ice it. And Tim Horton started it. Oh, it's time for Tim Horton. Second night from Sterling College. And that ices it. And the Red Wings, for the first time, will suffer back-to-back losses. And it was a fight between Barkley and Horton. Barkley did not like Horton with that puck near the end, so he'll fight for 5 minutes. They'll both get 5 minutes, but it doesn't matter. The Leafs score 5 and win 5-2. A job well done by Sawchuk. And for the 5th time, the Red Wings have lost. Second straight game. Hal and Ullman scored, but Toronto came back with 2 goals by Ellis, 2 by Horton, 1 by Ron Stewart. So Tim Horton was in the right place at the right time. And we are at 18 minutes, so I guess we could play one more game. They have us playing the Rangers. Did we? Oh no, we haven't. We didn't face the Rangers yet in this video. Montreal, Chicago. Montreal with the shutout. Hodge shuts out the Jordy. Belleville, Backstrom, and Provo. 13, 14, 15 on the goals. Boston, Detroit. So Detroit crushed Boston 5-0. Crozier and Detroit taking revenge on Boston for crushing them. Delvecchio, Ullman, Pitt Martin, and then Floyd Smith with a pair to make it 5-0 for the Red Wings. Now comes the Leafs headed to MSG. It will be Sawchuk versus Plant. You might as well go with Sawchuk. Go with the hot hand. The Rangers with Raj Gilbert, the victim of an ice cream container in Guelph. Camille Deal Henry, who has 20 goals, but Ellis has 21. Don Marshall, Vic Hadfield, who would be a good sniper 6+ years later. Bobby Nevin, former Leaf, who was traded to the Rangers in the Bathgate deal. Earl Inglefield, Jean Rattel, Jean Rattel, Phil Goyette, Louis Ngati, Bill Hick, Rod Sealing, Kitchener, Harry Howell, who played over 1,000 games in Ranger uniform, Arnie Brown, Wayne Hillman, Jim Michael, Jim Nielsen, Larry Kahan, Don Johns, Lyle Fontaine, and Davey Richardson. Here we go. 1 minute. Action? No, Roger Baird cannot score. 4 minutes later. Chance for the Rangers. Go yet. No. Stopped by Sawcheck. 3 minutes later. Leafs score. The Chief. Armstrong has 8th. Lots of 8s. From Ellis and McKinney, both with their 8 assists. Ellis has 21 goals, but only 8 assists. He's not a team player. Aggression. They hit Arnie Brown in the books for 2. Leafs Bathgate with a chance. No. Score. Power play goal. One ex-Ranger couldn't do it. How about another one? Ronnie Stewart his 6th unassisted, and the Rangers are down 2-0. 3 more minutes. Rangers score. Ronnie Stewart his 2nd of the night. Rockin' Robbie, Rockin' Roddy, tweet from Kelly and Keon. It's 3-0 Leafs. And that's our score after 20 minutes. The Leafs have a 3-0 lead. Armstrong with 1, Ron Stewart with 2. Early on in the second. A chance for Leafs again. Score! For the red, white, and blue. Oh, you know, Red Kelly is number 1. Red Kelly scores from Moore. Dickie Moore, his first point as a Leaf. And Andy Bathgate. Maybe Dickie Moore will be a good guy after all. Bathgate. Andy Bathgate. Hit. 3 minutes later. Henry from Body Henry now tied for first in the goal scoring lead. 2 minutes later, aggression. The big M to the Books. There's a chance. Camille Joe. There's a steal. Now the new goal scoring leader from Sealing and Hillman. Sealing, Kitchener. Wayne Hillman. 5 minutes later. There's a score! It's a natural hat-trick for Henry. Rod Sealing, Kitchener. It's 4-3. Everyone thought that the Rangers would have to go with Paille. Last moments. Kelly had a shot. They probably would have taken Pond out with the 5-goal rule. But the Leafs were up 4-0. And then Camille Henry with a natural hat trick in a span of 8 minutes and 31 seconds. 6 minutes later. Double hit. 2 minutes later. Leafs chance. Stamina. They got a good stamina. No shot by Douglas. Ron Ellis, no. This is probably going to be an empty net opportunity. And the Big M, his 8 from Douglas and Bathgate. And the Leafs stick it to the Rangers. They were up 4-0. They almost choked. The Eel with a natural hat trick, but the Leafs win 5-3. So, whew. Leafs with 5 goals. Well, Armstrong with 1, Stewart with 2, Red Kelly, and then Henry with the natural hat trick within 8 minutes. And then Frank Mahovlich did put the empty netter in. Only 2 penalties. Clean game. But both teams scored on those power plays. So it's 5-3. We got the 20-minute rule. Yep. And the next one will be January the 6th. We'll keep it here. Detroit, Montreal, tied at 4. Crozier and Hodge with the tie. Detroit goals by Delvecchio, Ullman, and Paulie Henderson. Montreal goes by Beliveau, Russo, Duff, and Ferguson. Boston Rangers. Boston crushed the Rangers 5-2 for only their 5th win. Norris took down Paille. Finally, Jack Norris wins a game in the net. Rangers goal by Rattel and Gilbert, but Boston scored 5. Rivers, Oliver, Fleming, what's with him? Prentice and Tommy Williams. And the Bruins win 5-2. So you see by the summary, the Leafs are catching Montreal for 2nd place. Chicago is 3 points up on the Rangers for 4th. Boston still at the bottom. Camille the Eel Henry has 23 goals. He's 2 ahead of Ron Ellis in that department. Assists. Points-wise, Ellis is 8th, but Ullman's leads. Worthley, Crozier, Sawcheck are 3 goalies by stuff. Yeah, Detroit is the only team without. Yeah, Detroit's the only team without 2 goalies. Wetzel. You should put Wetzel in the net for Detroit one of these days. So anyway, that's all for now. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.